then we will repeat it and you can do after me, but let's try to get it done. And perhaps in at least the first part of it, the first 5 or 6, we should do it together. And then let me kind of hear how you're doing, and if I find that there is some more practice that you need to do, then you can follow after me. So this is how we will do it. So let's start with the Guru Vandanam. Om Shruti Smriti Purananam Alayam Karunalayam Namami Bhagavad Padam Shankaram Loka Shankaram Shankaram Shankaracharyam Peshavam Badarayanam Sutra Bhashya Kritau Vande Bhagavantau Punah Punaha Ishvaro Gururatmeti Murti Bheda Vibhagine Vyomavad Vyapta Dehaya Dakshina Murtaye Namaha Gokarastvandakaro Vai Rukarastvannivartakaha Andakara Nirodhitvat Gururitya Vidhiyate Sadashiva Samarambham Shankaracharya Madhyamam Asmadacharya Paryantam Vande Guru Paramparam. So we'll do Sahana Vavatu as part of the Shanti Patha. So let's start together with the Shanno Mitra Sham Varunaha, and let's see how it sounds. Om Shanno Mitra Sham Varunaha Shanno Bhavat Varyama Shanna Indro Brihaspatihi Shanno Vishnurukramaha Namo Brahmane Namaste Vayo Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahmasi Tvameva Pratyaksham Brahma Vadishyami Ritam Vadishyami Satyam Vadishyami Tanmamavatu Tadvaktaramavatu Avatu Mam Avatu Vaktaram. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Sahana Vavatu Sahanau Bhunaktu Sahaviryam Karavavahai Tejasvinavadhitamastu ma vidvishavahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Yas Chandasam Rishabho Vishwarupaha Chandobhyodhyamrita at sambabhuva Samendro medhaya asprunotu Amritasya devadharano bhuyasam Shariram me vicharshanam Jivva me madhumattama Karna abhyam bhuri vishruvam Brahmanav koshosi medhaya pihitaha Shrutam me gopaya. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Aham vrikshasya reriva Kirtif prishtam gireriva Urdhva pavitro vajiniva swamritamasmi Dravinagum savarchasam Sumedha amritokshitaha. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. आप Apyayantu mama angani vak. So let's, from here on, just follow me. And just a little slower. I think your enunciation is all okay. Somehow we need to move those back tables. There's not enough space in the back. Yeah, we have to tell Balbir not to, because that shortens the room quite a bit. So, I think your enunciation is okay, but I think you hurry it a little bit. So just slow it down and perhaps pause at the right place, the right point. So just follow me from this point on. Apyayantu mama angani vak pranas chakshuh shrotram atho balamindriyani cha sarvani. So when we chant the whole thing, it'll sound something, so you can follow after me when I chant the whole first sentence. Apyayantu mama angani vak pranas chakshuh shrotram atho balamindriyani cha sarvani. Apyayantu mama angani vak pranas chakshuh shrotram balamindriyani cha sarvani. Sarvam brahmo parinshadam maham brahma nirakuryam mama brahma nirakarot. So now the whole sentence. Maham brahma nirakuryam mama brahma nirakarot. Maham brahma nirakuryam mama brahma nirakarot. Anirakarnam astu anirakarnam me astu. Anirakarnam astu anirakarnam me astu. Tadatmani nirateya upanishatsu dharmaste mai santu te mai santu. Tadatmani nirateya upanishatsu dharmaste mai santu te mai santu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So, and then let's try to do the next one together. Let me see how it sounds. Vang me manasi pratisthita mano me vachi pratishthitam aviravir maedhi vedasya maani isthaha shrutam me ma prahasihi anenaditena. Wait, I think you just went into ahoratran too quickly. So, anenaditena, then ahoratra. So just pause after each one of them. Anenaditena ahoratran sandadhami ritam vadishyami satyam vadishyami tanmamavatu tadvaktaramavatu avatu mam avatu vaktaram Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. So together again. Bhadranno apivataya manaha Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Let's do it together. Bhadran karnebhih shrunuyama devaah. Bhadram pashyema akshabhiryajatraah. Sthirairangai istushtuvaagumsastanubhih. Good. Vyashema devahitam yadayuh. Swasti na indro vriddhashravah. Swasti nः पूषा विश्ववेदाः. स्वस्ति नस्तार्क्ष्यो अरिष्टनेमिः. स्वस्ति नो बृहस्पतिर्दधातु. ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः. यो ब्रह्मानं विदधाति पूर्वं यो वै वेदांश्च प्रहिणोति तस्मै तगुंहदेवमात्मबुद्धिप्रकाश मुमुक्षुर्वै शरणमहं प्रपद्ये. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Again the last one. So just listen to the pauses. Yo brahmanam vidadhati purvam yo vai vedamscha prahinoti tasmai tagumhadevamatma buddhi prakasham mumukshurvai sharanamaham prapadye. You see the pauses there. So let's try to do it together. Yo brahmanam vidadati purvam yo vai vedamscha prahinoti tasmai tagum hadevamatma buddhi prakasham mumukshurvai sharanamaham prapadye. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Very good. Excellent. Really making good progress. So the portion that we are covering before we begin the Upanishad itself is what is called a summary of what is to come. So this is a useful thing to do. You first summarize what is it that you're going to do, then you do it, and then you summarize what you did. So really it makes the understanding much more solid in your mind and so on. So, and it's not something that that the acharyas don't know how to do. These are very well taken care of. So here in this case, Adi Shankara has written a Sambandha Bhashya. So Sambandha Bhashya means what is it that we are doing? You should keep the big picture in your mind. This is what he's saying. And so, as you know, we have decided not to follow the Shankara Bhashya line by line, and also the commentary on the Shankara Bhashya by Anandagiri. Anandagiri ji, his tika on the Shankara Bhashya, on some of the things about the Bhashya that may not be very clear, they may be too cryptic, is very well considered. Extremely, all the students of Vedanta follow this script. What we have tried to do in this class is we will not do it line by line, but we will trust the judgment of Swami Maheshananji to encapsulate that in terms of his commentary. And his commentary, I find, is very accurate in terms of taking into account the Adi Shankara's Bhashya as well as the Anandagiri Tika. He actually puts a lot of emphasis on Anandagiri Tikas. So those are included in this. So we've decided that instead of just using Sanskritam as the very basis of the teaching, we will use the Sanskritam as it comes inside the Bhashya and the Tika and Swami Maheshanandaji's commentary. Anyway, I'm just giving you the whole picture. So here we started to follow Adi Shankara's Sambandha Bhashya. And in doing so, we defined what is a prakarana. We've already done that. What the prakarana? And the prakarana is what is called ekadesha. Means a very particular aspect of the Shastra. Not the whole Shastra. Because that it takes years of study and you need to have the time for it. And even if the people are studying Shastra as a whole, there are also prakarana granthas that focus on one or two aspects of the Shastra are taken up. Here in the Gaudapada's the Gaudapada's commentary on this Upanishad, Mandukya Upanishad, is a prakarana grantha. And so he defines one thing that he wants to show, which is the most important thing. It's not as though it's a side, it's like a side topic. It's not a side topic, it is the main topic. But the main topic involves a focus where you don't try to become a scholar in all aspects of the Shastra, which you may decide to do. But here, it is a focus on one aspect of the Shastra. And so this is what is called a prakarana grantha. So in some way, the Upanishad itself represents the Shastra, and the Gaudapada's commentary represents the prakarana grantha. That prakarana grantha, very briefly as we saw, is that there is a mistake that we make about ourselves. There is something we do not really completely grasp, and as a result of that we suffer. When a normal mistake is made, sometimes there is some consequences of the mistake. But here the consequences of not understanding the Parameshwara, which is nothing but myself. In fact, really speaking, I've also taken some time to really understand this very fully. What it means is, instead of the Jivatma trying to become Paramatma, which seems like an impossible task. Impossible task because the mind is so enamored with just grappling with the day-to-day aspects of the duality, of the limitations of life, about my becoming a very limited person and so on. It is so enamored with that it seems like an enormously difficult task. Instead, I think what we should focus on is removing the denial of the glory of Paramatma in me. See, there's a difference. There's a big difference. One is to base myself in the limited body-mind complex that I am, and then becoming an enormously important Paramatma. I submit to you and the other teachers, it's not just my own personal view, that this is more difficult for you to do than to focus on the Paramatma and then seeing why is it I am denying Paramatma to be myself. It's like I am not ready to recognize the glory of Paramatma because I'm saying you cannot be me. You cannot be me. Just leave me as myself. I am whatever it is, I am not happy, whatever it is, but this is my lot and you don't try to be me. So this removal of deniability is, I think, a better way to look at the fact that the Paramatma is nothing but me. And so this is the prakarana. And this is what the Sambandha Bhashya is talking about. So the Gaudapada's commentary has 4 prakaranas, 4 different chapters. And now we are studying the summary of the first chapter. It's very possible that we may be able to finish the summary of all the 4 chapters today. If not, then we will take maybe a little bit more time, and then we will begin the study of the Upanishad. So that's the game plan. So in doing so, we already started on the first one. And the first prakarana, and just to quote, if you want, you can even look at the references from Adi Shankara and seeing that this is really the direct quotation from there. So the first prakarana, the first chapter, in the words of Adi Shankara says, Tatra tavat onkara nirnayaya Onkara nirnayaya prathamam prakaranam agama pradhanam atma tattva pratipatti upaya bhutam. Okay, I'll repeat that and then explain it. Tatra tavat onkara nirnayaya prathamam prakaranam agama pradhanam Atma Tattva Pratipatti Upaya Bhutam. This is it. So here, again, I'm just to repeat what we did last week, just to strengthen this, so on and so forth. Swami Maheshanji immediately interprets it as saying, he brings in different quotations from other Upanishads, from Shruti Vakyas, to explain what the sense of what Adi Shankara is saying. So he says, Nana asti iha nana asti kinchana. Iha nana asti kinchana. So this is a quotation from another Shruti Vakya, that really speaking here, there is no duality. There is no duality. This is the conclusion that I am different from Parameshwara, that the world is different from me, and I have a kind of like an antagonistic view that I am just the result of what's happening to me, is a wrong view. And this view has to be, once you understand that this is something that will come and go, this is just my own superimposition. And to give an example of that superimposition, as you know, we did that last time, but let me repeat it, that there was a quarrel, serious quarrel, between a father and his son. Serious quarrel, not a simple quarrel. We all quarrel with our children as part of our vyavahara. We all do that. But this was a serious quarrel to the point where the father said, I have had it. I don't want to deal with this character anymore, even though he was my son and so on. So in the presence of the whole family, he declares, you are not my son from today onwards. Is that clear to you? Get out of the home. I don't want to see you. I don't want to think about you. Our relationship is severed. This is a shock to the whole family, especially to his wife, the mother of the child, and so on. What are you doing? But he says, that's it. He has just made my life miserable. I don't want to deal with this anymore. Just go away from my life. You're not my son anymore. So here Swami Maheshananji says, look at this. is he qualified to question that this is his son? No. He can't do that. It's done by Parameshwara, already done. He was born to him. And as long as he's alive, or then the son is alive, both of them through this life, there's nothing you can do. Now, you can pretend. You can pretend that he's not my son, and you can deal with it in a vyavaharika way. But the truth of what the person is, you cannot challenge. There's no way that you can do that. In the same way, here is our situation. Here it was done willfully by this person because he was sick of the life and so on and so forth, and he decided this is what a better course of action will be. But in our case, the situation is slightly different but very similar. Slightly different but very similar. And that situation is that we don't know the truth. Here, in the case of this person, he knew the truth, but he denied it. He decided to deny it by putting a superimposition on top of that. In our case, we don't know the truth. So, as a result of that, we don't know the fact that Paramatma is me, has been me, is me now, and will always be with me. In other words, this is a denial that I don't know about. And so therefore, I put in an imposition that this cannot, I am not Paramatma. I am just a Jivatma. I am not a Paramatma. Now, the interesting thing about this is that it's okay if you don't know, that the fact that you are Paramatma. Then you just go through the life of Jivatma in the way you do and so on and so forth. But if you were to be told that that's not the case, here the example of as we've been talking about it, is a beautiful example that, and from Bhagavad Gita also in the 3rd chapter, that really Jnanina Vairinam. He says that the sense of duality becomes a great shatru. It's a great enemy to one who knows that I am Paramatma. So there we saw the example, it's a beautiful example, that as long as you don't know that you have diabetes, then you sort of enjoy and suffer life. You have desserts and gulab jamun and rasagulla and all those kinds of things. You can just do it. But if you know you have diabetes, then you should see that sugar is your enemy. You should see it. And the difference between whether you see it as an enemy or not depends upon your knowledge that I have diabetes. See, this is an important thing to see. The doctor has proven to you, hey, here's a blood report. It says your sugar level is too high and you're not pre-diabetic. This is exactly what happened to me. I was hoping that I'm just pre-diabetic. It was kind of like denial. But then the doctor said, oh, I'm sorry to tell you, you're no longer pre-diabetic, you are fully diabetic. And really my view of sugar has changed from forever after that. So therefore, in the case of the jiva, if the jiva doesn't know that I am behaving like a jiva, but I am not jiva, it doesn't know that, then it should be excused. It's like saying, I don't know that I have diabetes, so I can do anything I want to. But suppose I am told through instructions, through the Shastra and so on and so forth, hey, there's something funny stuff going on in here. Do you know you are not just an ordinary person? In fact, just think about it. Ishvara, who is devoid of all problems, that's the definition of Ishvara, devoid of all problems, is you. And then you say, okay, well, I hear, it's like a doctor saying, here's the blood report. Here's the blood report. You cannot question it. How you deal with it is up to you, but you cannot question the fact that you have diabetes. So similarly here also, the Shastra says, and then first you don't believe it. Then you read some other books. This is what happens. We keep on reading other books and maybe there's a better way to look at this and so on. Maybe I understand that I cannot be Parameshwara in this life. But if I keep on working and going to temples and so on and so forth, the next life I may have a better chance. Shastra says no. Right here. Neha nana asti kinchana. Na iha. Na iha nana asti kinchana means right here. It's not later, but right here. And so this is already told to you. This is a fact which you cannot change, just like the father and the relationship with the son cannot be changed. It's from the birth onwards. You can pretend anything you want to. So similarly here also, what happens is that this is a fact that really I am Parameshwara is just me, and I have a chance to remove this denial by knowing that this is just my own conclusion, which is not true. And so this is the purpose of the first prakarana. This is the first prakarana, which is called Agama Prakarana. This is the purpose, to show that you and Ishvara are really one and the same. And then you are unnecessarily delaying. Like the instructions given to the father is, really speaking, that you're creating a problem by yourself. Please try to resolve it. He is your son. He's been given to you with a purpose. And yes, he might have created some problems for you and so on. You have to deal with it. You are probably responsible for half of it. You are the one who didn't bring him up properly. This is a very big thing. I tell you, Swami Maheshananji has just been very, very clear that the beginning of the solution, and Swami Dayananji also says it, you are the problem, you are the solution. The beginning of the solution in my life is to take ownership. Because for a long time we blame others, that I am okay, but the others are making life very difficult for me. And if I can just change the others in my life, I'll be okay. Absolutely just a denial of the reality. In fact, you asked for being born here in this circumstance. This is your karma, this is what you have done. You take responsibility. Swami Maheshananji pointed out, he said, we blame the British for and the Muslims, all the various things that they have really enslaved us. And we are a nice country, we are a Hindu country, and we have good thoughts and so on, and all these other people have invaded us and they have really broken us, and it is just the British are bad people, the Muslims are bad people, and so on and so forth. He says, absolutely not. He says, it is all due to the fact that you refuse to take ownership of your own mistakes in the past, and you have to suffer now. When there was time to protect your country, you didn't do it. When there was a time to bury incidental hatchets between one king or the other, you didn't do it. When was time for you to have a united front, you didn't do it. And you just forget about all of that. And now you're crying that we have been decimated by this and so on and so forth. So similarly in our life also, Swamiji says the first thing one should do is to recognize that I am responsible for what I am doing. All the problems that I'm having is due to my own previous karmas. And you don't need to be bothered by it. So start on the process. So similarly, going back to the examples of the father and son, and to say you cannot deny, there is a fact that he was born to you. And born to you with a promise that it will be a very beautiful life between father and son. But you somehow spoiled it. Whether he spoiled it or you spoiled it, whatever it is, you probably spoiled it completely. And so, remove that deniability. The sooner you do it, if you just live in your la-la land saying he's not my son, this is stupidity. So similarly here, Agama Prakarana is to say, please, be reasonable. Don't you see that you are living in your own la-la land by saying, I am just a jiva and this, that or the other. And you've constructed a whole scene. And this scene has no truth to it. It's very much like a dream. You have a big dream that I am so on and so forth, denying your own identity. Anyway, all of that will come in great detail. So here, so now listen to this very beautiful analysis of the reasons for your denial. So let's look at a technical, so Swamiji here goes into a technical discussion, very beautiful discussion, which we didn't do last week. This is the new thing that we are doing this time. So he says, that your denial of the truth needs to be examined. How is this happening? Okay, so look at this. So the thing is that if a thing is absent, the thing is absent, not there, here are the ways in which the things are absent. Okay? So for example, supposing you look at a clay pot. So the clay pot has the following ways that it is absent. One is that it was not there at one time and now it is there. So this is what is called technically in the Shruti or in the Shastra called prag abhava. Prak abhava. Prak means before. It was not there before and now it is there. The second one is pradhvamsa abhava, means that it may not be there in the future. It can be broken. So what we are talking about is to focus on a vastu, a thing. And the vastu is a clay pot. And the clay pot has the following possibilities of not being there. One is pragabhava. The second one is pradhvamsa abhava. Right? The third one is anyonya abhava. Anyonya abhava means that a pot is not a table. So it is limited. So there the pot is there. Pot is there, I can see it. But it is now highly limited because it is not really prevalent all over the time. It is really a subject to being limited by things that limit it, like a table. It is not a table. It is not a floor. It is not a wall. It is not people. It is just one thing. So there is some limitation to it. So this is also what is called anyonya abhava. It's kind of like an abhava. The fourth one is the one that is of interest to us. This is what is called atyanta abhava. Atyanta abhava means not there at all. No possibility of it being there. So here Swamiji gives us a beautiful example. He says that you have seen you've seen a cow and you've seen buffaloes. As you're a child, you've seen cows and buffaloes. And you've touched them also. You've touched them, you see what a cow looks like, and you find that the cow has some horns that are very, very solid. Unlike the surface of the cow, it's like our nails. It's very solid. So you feel that this four-legged thing has horns. And then you go to a buffalo and you find the buffalo also has horns. Then you are shown or you are told about a rabbit. The rabbit actually also has some 2 feet, but let's say better than that would be a donkey. That's a better example. So you see a donkey. And the donkey has 2 huge ears sticking out. So the child may assume that this is also a horn. And when it touches it, he finds that this is not a horn because the ears bend and they're very soft. They're no longer as hard as the one for a cow or a buffalo. So now this is the analysis. In the case of a donkey, a donkey never has horns. Never has horns. Not possible. By birth it is not possible. So this is what is called atyanta abhavaha. The horns of a donkey do not exist. Not like a pot that was not there before, is there now, or may not be there, it may be broken, or that it is limited by something else. It is not there at all. But atyanta abhava doesn't mean that you cannot falsely conclude that it has horns. This is the key one. So you can falsely conclude that it has horn until you know better. So now, here is the analysis of the jivatvam, my sense of a samsari, that I am just a limited person full of problems. Which of the four categories does it belong to? Is it pragabhava, pradvamsa abhava, anyonya abhava, or atyanta abhava with a wrong pratiti? It is the last one. Just like the conclusion of the Father, that this from now on, this is not my son. That's a slightly different case because it is generated by his own the fact that he's got a lot of problems and he wants to somehow deal with it by pretending he's no longer the son. Here, really a better example is that of which we will go into much more detail later on, a rope and a snake. In the wrong vision of the rope as being a snake, there is a pratiti of an atyanta abhava. So therefore, the agama prakarana goes into pointing out that your sense of being a samsari is the atyanta abhava, the bheda, the duality, which is the very source of being a samsari. It's just like in the case of the rope and snake. There is no snake whatsoever. And the sooner you start to think about it that way, it might take a little while, but it's not as though you are a samsari now and you will be free later. See, this is what I have to avoid. I'm a samsari now. Right now I'm a jiva. I've got problems. Don't bother me. Don't try to talk me out of it. Don't try to coddle me. I accept it. But if I keep on doing some things and changing my life and praying more and doing more chanting and so on, and perhaps in my next life I might be better. And I think I'll be better. Then I will not be. I may become a devata. Who knows? No, not going to happen. And even if that could happen, which it could happen, you are still a limited person, still a limited devata. And so you may have a little bit more fun than you're now, but there are still a lot of limitations, and it's not going to last very long. When you're having fun, time passes very quickly. You'll be back again into the same situation. So the best thing to do is to see what is the nature of my sense of limitation. Delve into it and you'll find that it doesn't exist. The more vicharam na sahate. Vicharam na sahate means that when you inquire into the nature of a snake, when someone already knows and says, I appreciate you think of this rope as a snake because you're afraid and you didn't get a good look at it. But the fact of the matter is it is a wrong vision on your part because I don't see a snake there. In fact, come with me and touch it. So similarly here also, the Agama Prakarana shows that really your vision is wrong. And there are reasons why they are wrong. You are afraid and you are suffering and all that. I accept that. But it's a wrong vision. It doesn't exist. And the sooner you look upon your life from that perspective, the better off you will be. permanent, forever. So that's the reason for the that's the reason for this first prakarana, Agama prakarana. So there, now one other thing, and then I want to go on because there's a lot that can be said, but so, and I hinted at it last time also. So this view of examining why am I denying Parameshwara to be everywhere? I'm really denying Parameshwara to be everywhere. How am I denying the Parameshwara to be everywhere? Because I'm saying, you're not me. You cannot possibly have these kinds of problems that I'm having. So you cannot be me. So you can say, well, doesn't make any difference. I'm just a small speck. I can deny the Parameshwara is not me. But all of us are denying it. The poor Parameshwara has nowhere to go where somebody would say, you or me. Everybody is denying it. So this is the denial. So the question is, what do I need to do that I need to understand the presence of Ishvara everywhere? What do I need to do? I need to examine the nature of Parameshwara. And that examination of the nature of Parameshwara is through an appropriate name for Ishvara called Om. Omkara. That has different names. It has Omkara. In Samaveda it is called Udgita. In Yajurveda it's called Pranava. In Atharveda it's called Omkara. It's the same name. So Omkara. Omkara is the name. And Omkara is, Om is an appropriate name. It is an appropriate name. Like you cannot say donkey is the name of Parameshwara. It's not appropriate. Not appropriate. It should be it is not exactly Ishvara, but it comes closest to Ishvara. Omkara. And so the examination of why Omkara is an important name, why is it an important name for Ishvara, will be examined in this prakarana. Now, one other important thing, which is really subtle, I didn't quite appreciate it myself until I read it a few times. Here Swami Maheshananji says, please see that just by understanding, just by the logic, so one other thing, Omkara will show you the completeness of Ishvara. It will show you the completeness of Ishvara. Now, by knowing the completeness of Ishvara through logic alone is not enough. Is not enough. Really? I thought you were telling me, in fact, all this is being discussed here. And where is it? It says, I forget the exact, I underlined it, but I can't find it. So he himself asks, wait a second. So the student asks, I thought you were telling me that it is all about understanding, all about logic, and you tell me that Omkara is a complete nature of Parameshwara. Now you are telling me this is not enough. This I don't understand. I don't understand. And so here Swamiji gives a summary here, which will be expanded when we study the Prakarana itself, is to say, it is not as though that just the logic will create the completeness of Ishvara. See, so this is where it comes closest to a Paroksha Jnanam and Aparoksha Jnanam, which we already went through. That it is not theory and practice, it is that I know it, but it is not close to me. I don't see it directly. So this is an example of that. So an understanding of Omkara as being everything in this one is still Paroksha Jnana. And then what is it that I need to do to make it Aparoksha Jnanam? I have to be immersed in Omkara. And immersion in Omkara means I have to embrace it with love and with understanding and with commitment. And then it will start to really bless me. So this is what is called Agama. So you remember the example I showed you about the lentils not boiling because you put salt in the very beginning. Remember that? So here Swamiji says that there are some techniques to cook quickly. So for example, you have a mother that comes home after working and she's making dal for the whole family. And she doesn't know this. So she puts salt in it first, all the spices in it first, and then turns the cooktop on and now boils. And the darn thing is not boiling. And the kids are getting hungry and saying, Mom, where's the dinner? And so that person is told, did you put the salt in the beginning? She says, yes. What has that got to do with it? Don't put the salt. If you don't try next time, put the salt when it is already boiling, then at the very last minute. You shouldn't put salt on something which is already ready to be served. Then the salt actually harms. It should be dissolved, but put it right at the very end. Wow, what a difference it makes. Instead of taking 45 minutes, it takes half hour. And so similarly here also, by just understanding the completeness of yes, o, u, ma, as we will see, o standing for Jagrat Avastha, u standing for etc., etc. This is not going to be enough. You need the techniques to make it into Aparoksha Jnana, which means you have to embrace it. You have to keep thinking about the fact that you are nothing but Omkara. You have to chant it continuously. And any time you start something, you have to remind yourself that it is due to Parameshwara that things get started. So in the very beginning of a sentence, say Om. At the very end of it. So this is embracing it. Make it into your own. It is not something that you just read in books and so on and so forth, even though it might give you a complete understanding of what the Omkara is, what the constituents of Om is. This is an advice. And this advice is encapsulated by the word Agama. Agama means that the techniques of viewing Omkara, which has been brought up from the very beginning. From the very beginning. And Swami Maheshchandji says, and other acharyas also says, that this is, for example, how Vashishta, who was the teacher of Rama, must have taught Rama. Must have. This is where all the people have really, these are the techniques that you've used. And it is something you cannot just read it by a book and saying, okay, now I get it. No. It's kind of like learning to play the violin from a master. And you cannot just cannot read it from your book or something like this. You have to live with the master. And then the sound of it, the subtlety of it, the beauty of it comes out. So similarly here also, this will be kept in mind in understanding the first prakarana. Then, I do have to distribute books, but let's start. I won't nearly spend the same amount of time as I did on the first prakarana, but let's start on a brief description of the second prakarana. I think maybe in about 5 or 6 minutes, and then we will distribute the books. So we will do that. Now, the same Adi Shankara's definition of the second prakarana is given here. Yasya Dvaita prapanchasya upashame advaita pratipattihi rajvamiva sarpadi vikalpa upashame rajju tattva pratipattihi tasya dvaitasya hetutaha vaithatya pratipadanaya dvitiya prakaranam. One more time. Yasya dvaita prapanchasya upashame advaita pratipattihi rajvamiva sarpadi vikalpa upashame rajju tattva pratipattihi tasya dvaitasya yasya tasya dvaitasya hetutaha vaithatya pratipadanaya dvitiya prakaranam. So, he says the second prakaranam is meant to show that what you are putting stock on in your life is without any substance on it. There's no substance to it. There's no reality to it. There's no importance to it. You're just addressing things that really don't need to be addressed. So vitatha means one which is false. So here again, Adi Shankara himself says that you are going on and on about the snake, that how, my God, that was so dangerous. He says, no, the snake was not there. He says, no, I know, but the thing is that it is very poisonous. These days you say that there's a lot of rattlesnakes these days. So I think I got bit by it. Or I think there's one in the court. He says, no, there isn't. But then you are all going on and on. Because it has no substance to it. So similarly, exactly what happens to in our case also. We all say, I'm very troubled these days. I've got some issues and so on and so forth. And so, in fact, really the acharyas and that know something, they'll just look at it and say, What troubles? What's the problem? Deep inside, he says there is no problem. And in fact, sometimes and the two of them are not talking in the same, see, this is the thing, they're not talking on the same wavelength. Because the person is saying, I have got a lot of issues, can you please help me with this because I've got this, and the other person says, no, you don't have any problems. And he says, no, but the thing is that I said there is no problem. No, but the other person says, but you see, the thing is that I'm getting better, but I think that people are really not, no problems. This is and it slowly, you see, finally the person says, what? How can you say that I don't have any problems? Now you're listening. But first it was being really, the two of them are not even communicated. So Dayananji used to say that. I still remember he says it's a funny situation that a student who doesn't see the solution and a teacher that doesn't see a problem are talking to each other. So this is the purpose of the second prakarana, is the Vaithatya, it's called Vaithatya prakarana, means the one that has no substance to it. Rallying against things that have no substance, and to see the no substance to it. This is a beautiful example. He says, there is in Hindi it's called bagula, and in English it would be called like a crane with a long neck. And so this bagula, this crane, is sitting on top of a house or a wall, and he's completely still with his eyes half open, as though it's doing meditation. Very impressive. Even you and I cannot do that. We are always kind of scratching and this, that, or the other, and so on. And to just stand like this with your neck straight and not moving. You look at this bagula and you say, wow, what a wonderful meditation. What a great, and it's really true. Ishvara has given the ability to just sit there and not even move. But his meditation is without any substance. He's looking for fish. Whereas in Samadhi, you are looking for Parameshwara. So, he says it is without substance. It is without any there is no reality to it. You don't understand. It gives another example. He says, you look at this is called asana siddhi. Asana siddhi means that in your meditation, your sitting down should be effortless. You're not moving. You don't have to move like this and so on like this, nothing like this. Because once you set your body, it should be in such and we'll do some meditation to practice, but it should be in such a way that now your mind is now concentrated. You're not worried about your body or anything like this. It's very difficult to do. How long are you going to do asana siddhi? He says, I have seen the owners of shopkeepers who sit from 7 o'clock in the morning until 9 o'clock at night at one place. And it's really interesting to see. You see the owners of these clothing shops, and they've got all these servants all over the place and so on and so forth, moving around. And the customers come in and say, I want green color sari. So he just motions it to the other and says, he just sits there. And then he says, okay, yeah, this one I like. Will you take 10% less? So he says, okay. 100% okay. And he does this effortlessly for the whole day. This other person who's trying to do samadhi, he says, how could he do this? He's not moving for 12, 14 hours. Maybe to a bathroom break he can go. But after he comes back, he just sits there like that again. Without any substance. Without, all he wants to make is to make some money and so on and so forth. So similarly, now look at it. I'm going to close it. He says, we are so busy in our life. So busy. Marriages, births, jobs, and taking up new friends, leaving old ones, going to different places. There is so much going on without any substance. There is nothing you retain. At the end of your life, you're exactly at the same place where you started in the beginning of the life. What a shame. Without substance. It's like you are behaving, you're very busy. You ask people, you ask somebody, hey, do you want to, there's some good classes going on, do you want to come and listen? He says, I'm very busy. Very busy. Yeah, maybe later on, but busy means that I know what I'm doing. I know what I'm doing and I have a plan. And I've got to do this. I have to plan for my vacation. And then my grandchildren are coming in, so on and so forth. It's just an endless list. Very busy. Without any substance. It's like a bagula sitting there. It looks like he's very busy and because being busy means that it should really amount to something. The life doesn't appear to amount to anything. Then what should it be done? That will come later. But to show that your way of leading your life is without substance. So this is what is called Vaithatya Prakaranam. This is the second one. And so we will continue with now the third, and the fourth one will be very short. So I have a feeling that in the middle of the next class, we will have finished the Sambandha Bhashya of Adi Shankara. All this is nothing but an explanation of Adi Shankara's Sambandha Bhashya. And then we will begin the very first verse of the Upanishad. And so I think that's where we're going. So now I want to spend some time finishing, because I have to bring it back and forth. So this is it. All of you will get the books, and then we'll be done with. So let's do the prayer, and no questions. Sorry, today I'm late myself. So Om Swasti Prajabhyav Paripalayantam Nyayena Margena Mahim Mahishaha Go Brahmanebhya Shubhamastu Nityam Loka Samastha Sukhino Bhavantu Kale Varshatu Parjanyaha Prithvi Sasya Shalini Desho Yam Kshobarahitaha Brahmana Santu Nirbhayaha Sarve Swapantu Sukhinaha Sarve Santu Niramayaha Sarve Bhadrani Pashyantu Ma Kaschid Dukkha Bhag Bhavet Asato Ma Satkamaya Tamaso Ma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya Om Purnamatav Purnamidam Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnameva Vashishyate Om Shanti 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 Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha Harihi Om. So let me do this. We now